Alright, what is up PvE family? It's your boy PvE Cricket back at it again for another video. And today we have got Mr. Beatboxer, Mr. Brad Brown himself, who placed 6th place at the Tulsa Regional this past weekend. So hey, what's up buddy?
What's up guys? How you doing?
So yeah, I say beatboxing because this man has a stutter, so if you hear him fumble on his words a little bit, that's why. So um, just be mindful of that. It's funny, he makes jokes about it. I mean,
It
we
happens.
make fun of your
Yeah.
beatboxing all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, today we've got the Mecha list. I mean, it's literally, so he literally took Jordan's list and added a couple cards to it for a best of 3. So if you're interested in actually seeing the list, you can go over to Joey's channel, Crosswell TCG, and check out Danny Wynn's list. So that's basically what's going to be Brass list with a couple, well, quote unquote tech, and then uh, a little bit of ratio adjustments in a couple areas. But it's literally just adding from that 50. So we're not gonna really go on that. So we're gonna talk about that one tech, and then the sideboard, and then we'll talk about just the tournament rundown, because for me it's really important, especially with meta decks, to go over what the matchups were, because it's just really important, because when you play a meta deck, you you're going to see those other meta matchups, especially playing a deck like Mecha. You're going to see that mirror matchup more often than you probably want to. I mean, as you'll see
Yep.
later, he saw it twice. So
Yep.
yeah, let's just get into it. So the quote unquote, I put it in quotes because it's a tech, but like not really. So literally the entire reason this man put Nimbus in his deck, he tells me, yeah, I'm not Jordan Beard, and I'm scared, so I'm gonna put Nimbus in my deck.
Yeah. And so that was just a meta call for me too, though, because I know our locals. I know there's a lot of aggro
Oh,
players.
yeah, that's true.
I know there's a lot of players that play red and aggro. They play Vejex. And so in testing, that's one of the things that I've had an issue with, is actually dealing with aggro, because I usually go too far, or I don't go
Right.
far enough, and then I end up dying on the clapback. And so Nimbus just allows me to buy another turn.
Yeah, most
in
of the
those
time.
matchups. So
Yeah, and I talked to you a lot about the whole aggro thing. So I mean, yeah, I mean it's more of a like being self-aware thing at the end of the day, more than anything. And it's not like it's a bad card. It's freaking Nimbus.
yeah.
But so other than the Nimbus, so there was 2 Nimbus in the main, and then
Yep.
you had 54 cards compared to the
Yep.
Jordan's 50. So
Yep.
what you added on top of that was another double strike Champa Kai. It was Kai in this
Yep.
case, because I mean at the end of the day, being able to choose is good. But I mean you're probably just comboing it when you go for game. So you got to play Champa the man next time. I'll forgive you this time, but
Yeah. Okay.
um, and then the other one was you played one more riposte. It was riposte, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So you play one more riposte. I mean that card's just really good. Like in my, I guess, quote unquote version of the deck, I've picked up Mecha now. Um, I've gone
Yep.
up to 2 riposte as well. So it's just a really good card. There's a lot of leeway in this deck.
Yep.
And I've been testing things here and there, but yeah, those are the main things. So now we're gonna move into the sideboard. Um, there's 10 cards total. I will say now before I forget. There's 2 copies of the new Championship Pack Zamasu that Shenron's Lair does not have a picture of, or I'm gonna be honest, I was too lazy to look it up on Google. But yeah, uh,
Yeah.
there's 2 copies of that. That card's really good. I was playing it today in the main for the Stage 0 tournament on Wednesday,
So that
and
card actually came up a lot in the tournament. It actually was a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
yeah, for sure. I mean, it clutched up the game that I played against Baby. Like even as a one of, like that card is really, really, really good.
Like, yeah, and so it's a new card, and like a lot of people who actually didn't know that it was able to hit the unison cards. And so if your opponent taps out
Yeah.
and they're playing a unison and they
Yeah.
can or less, they essentially tap out and you bounce it back to their hand and then you kill them the next turn.
Yeah. I know you told me about that a couple times that you did that.
Yeah, that's something that actually came up in the like actually in the last round when I played Sin Shinron. But we can get to that a little later, I think,
Yeah.
when we
Yeah, for
talk
sure.
about the actual method stuff.
So yeah, first the sideboard. I think most of these are pretty self-explanatory for the most part. I don't think we'll have to talk about them too
Yeah.
much because it's Mecha, and we know the matchups that Mecha has. So it's like release from evil. Um, I mean that's mostly for Gohan, right?
Yeah, like, and that's something that I threw in because I knew that there would be a few Gohans at the event.
Yeah, that's me.
Like, and then as I got to talking, yeah, like you, which you usually beat me. Like, and then so I knew there would be Gohans at the event. Like, and then also as I was reading it, I realized that it hit a lot more cards than I initially thought.
Yeah,
It
it
hits
hits unisons.
duels, it hits
Yeah,
unisons, it hits battle cards. It's just really good all around, I think.
yeah. I mean, you don't mind like paying one for it,
Yep.
or that it doesn't negate the attack because this deck doesn't really negate anyway. You have the option of Riposte. I mean, Riposte is just a good card in general, but like, you know, Power of Super Saiyan does happen to be a negate if you need it. But like, if
Yep.
you watch somebody, if you watch like us, people play Mecha, especially the blue yellow. If you watch especially like Jordan Beard play it, my buddy Jordan, homie, uh,
Yep.
you just don't negate in the deck. You have such strong defense steps that you really just don't need it. There's decks
Yep.
like Dark Broly that are capable of just playing very sequentially, one action at a time, and that's where it really struggles. But I mean, you don't really
Right.
need the negates, which is why Release from Evil is also really good. And like, it just puts you into that defense step. It doesn't negate the attack. There's just a lot of
Right.
good with this card. So
Like, and that's actually why Jordan said he didn't play Flying Nimbus.
yeah,
Is actually
exactly.
because you want to get into the combo step. You want to have those options, to be able to interact with your opponent on their turn.
Yeah.
And so, but like you said, I was afraid. I wasn't trying to get blown out by aggro, so I played it. But
I mean, it happens sometimes. Like if you know your locals, and I didn't even, I always forget about this. Like your locals, your tournament
yep.
is at your local shop. Um, people
Right.
coming in from outside won't know that, but you kind of have that edge, and it's also a risk in the sense that you might not play those locals. So if that's the case, then it is what it is. But
Yeah, that's true.
it's a good risk to take because I mean, again, it's Nimbus. You can't really go wrong with Nimbus. Um, so
Right.
that being said, there is one more on the side. I mean, sometimes you just need it more for those wider aggro matchups. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
there.
Like, and I'm gonna be honest, I didn't side it in once all weekend.
Okay, yeah,
So,
this is there it is. I mean, regularly you can
so
probably just play two in the side and none in the main. But yeah, I mean, like you said,
yeah.
you were just scared. So it's again, it's nothing that's really that bad. And then one giant ball. Um, we were just talking about that, and it was for like Dark Broly, but um, actually, I feel like a lot of people think Giant Ball is not very good in Mecha, so I'm kind of surprised that this is in the side. Like, did it come in a lot? What did it do for you?
Well, so actually, I actually sided it again. I ended up playing OG Brawly
Uh huh.
in the second round. Like, and so I sided it in because he would do the thing where he pays 4, and then he plays a dude, and then he plays another dude.
Oh, the ISR. He actually IAR. Sorry. No.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
ISR.
And so he
ISR.
would do that. Like, I just sided in Giant Ball, then I would tap down to one that he would usually play,
Nice.
which actually saved me the game. Um, but I mean, yeah, 'cause that's really the only matchup I sided it in. Um, actually during this week. Like, I probably should have sided it in against the Sin Shinron matchup too, just to kind of
hinder them. Yeah.
I don't know, give myself a little more plus and like have options to interact,
Just to draw the
like
card.
before they're awakened.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
mean, it was carry. Like carry plays control. So if it was the aggro, there would have been
Right.
more reason. But carry
Yeah.
plays the control version. So, eh.
Yeah.
But it's like that's another thing I noticed about this deck. Like, I feel like people might be playing it a little bit too defensively. I don't know how people generally play it, but like the point you just want to draw a lot. Like as soon as you have a
Right.
card that you draw with, you just freaking use it. Like you're trying to kill
Yep.
like turn 3, turn 4, and just go for it.
Yep.
Draw as much as humanly possible. So just I mean, getting that draw is really good.
Yep.
So next up we've got Jiren, which is I mean I don't think as soon as you see that card and you know what it does, and you know why you should know why it's there. Koitsukai is also just a generically like really good card. And then did you side the Clash of the Masked Warriors because I sided it?
No, so actually, I had planned on citing it. Like I had planned on citing 2.
Okay.
Actually, before I picked up the Zamasu promos, I had planned on citing 2 because it's really good against like any deck that wants to finish with the unison. Like
Yeah.
you've got Vegex, you've got King Cold,
Yep.
and a lot of the King Vegeta decks are
Running
they're
Jiren.
playing the Vegeta unison or they're playing Jiren unison or whatever. It's just really good against any deck that wants to close you out with their unison.
Right. Yeah, it's just solid.
Yep.
And then I mean just going back through Jiren, turning the tide. I mean that's really it. Baby matchup kind of sucks.
Yeah, like that's actually something that our teammate Ivo actually like recommended to me when we were testing the night before. Because if I'm not able to get through to like on Baby before they drop Tide, then I'd probably lose that game. Like if they resolve Tide, I'd probably just lose.
Yeah. That's just how it
And
goes.
so I just decided to throw it in because I had an open slot.
Okay.
And that's really all.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But
I mean, it's a good card. Like, they're not gonna expect it. They can't do anything about it because it's part of the counterplay. You can't like God Sealing Trunks it or anything. The only possible thing is like countering it. But the only scenario in which that is happening is if somebody's still playing the Baby Unison and they -5, which people are not really doing anymore. I think most people are shifting to the Boo Unison, which is it's fair. I mean, like Boo Unison is really strong.
Yep.
But yeah, and then Koitsukai. I mean, we don't really. Koitsukai is Koitsukai. Like it's just a really good card. It hits a lot of decks.
It's just really good.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's really good in the mirror. It's really good if you're playing King Piccolo. It's just really good at like in any matchup when your opponent tries to play cards on your turn.
Yeah, and a lot of several of the floodgates are that, and then there's just decks that try to play defensively. So I mean, it's just a generically good card. And then finally, we've got Tyrannical Blow, Unison, and then I mean again these are mostly self-explanatory. Like you've got Bloodlust in the main deck, but that's a one-of. There's especially into something like the Baby matchup. Tyrannical Blow is really good for any of those floodgates. Like Mecha plays Poutine, that's a 2-drop. Topo, that's a 2-drop in hand. Baby floodgates are 3 or less for the most part. King Cold, you don't really play Dormant in King Cold, so you can Tyrannical Blow the King Cold negate. That's a 3 cost.
Right.
Well, it goes down to 1, but either way. So like it just hits a lot of cards. It's just good because like most people are also playing Unison. So like even defensively, if they play something and you hit it in a Unison, like all of a sudden if they haven't used a Unison for the turn, they're losing the effect entirely. Like Tyrannical Blow is a great card.
Like, and that's one of the things too is I was actually sleeping on this card like hardcore. I wasn't going to sign it at all. And then our teammate Justin, he was like, "That card's really good. You decide it." I started talking to you guys about it.
Yeah.
I was also talking to Ryan Severin, some of the guys in the Dragon Ballers, chat about it. Like, and it's just overall, they said yes, you should play this card. Like, and the more I got to thinking about it, that's exactly right. You hit the nail on the head. There's so many floodgates that this thing hits and just wipes. Like, and that's usually enough to turn like the tempo of the match in your favor.
Turning the tide, it turns the tide.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
like I almost said that, but then I was like,
Well, you should be glad that I said it, and I was the one that was unfunny instead.
but yeah. So
And then we've got Unison of Fury, Vegeta. I mean, that one. Okay, Dark Broly, here you go.
Yeah,
Have this card. Makes the Dark Broly matchup bearable, very bearable.
It makes the Dark Broly matchup like super easy in my opinion. I sided again against the OG Broly matchup too, because like he was swinging with
Yeah,
all
they're
the
playing big cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
Like, and there was also in my match against OG Brawley, so like actually the -3. That's how I closed out my second game against him. It's just so good.
Oh, nice. See, that's what I really like about these Unisons. Like, you can activate main. Like, you can literally -3 as soon as you play it. If you have both copies, like, you literally play it for 2, activate main, put one under, and then you just -3. Like, like these Unisons that just gain markers on, like, autos or activate mains are really good.
Yeah, it's really strong.
And then we got one cooler. I mean, there's one in the main. If you really need to counter something, you just put another one.
That was essentially for the baby matchup. I wasn't trying to get baby hatched, and so I just wanted to make sure that if I ran into any decks that were super counter heavy, that I could get through.
Yeah. And one thing to note before we end off the side, like a lot of these are 2-1s. That deck draws a lot. If you haven't seen Mecha, you don't know how Mecha plays. It's like Mecha Cabra. A lot of the ratios in Mecha Cabra are like 1-2 ofs, except for your like main engine, which is the same in this deck. Like you've got 4 of your important cards, but then everything else is just 1 or 2 of, because your deck draws so much that you're probably seeing them. So yeah, that's just the last thing to note. So with that, we have finished talking about the sideboard. So now.
And my tech, which is super nice.
Your what?
My tech.
Yeah. Nice tech.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shut up. That's why I put the quotation marks around it, because it's not really a tech. You're just a coward.
You right, okay? let me have it.
Right. Look, I understand that it's your video, but it's my channel, okay? I will roast you on my channel. At my leisure. Beatboxing man. Okay. Alright. Let's cycle back to reality. So, Tulsa Regional, this past weekend, we had 5 rounds because undefeated at the end, at round 5 on stream, they drew. I will not say any more than that. Tony, our teammate Tony, he was the other undefeated. He was playing down, and then he won. So the tournament ended there. Well, it would have ended regardless at that point. But yeah, we played 5 rounds, best of 3. So here's the rounds: Mirror, Broly, like he was saying earlier. Round 2 was Broly, Mechi, and then he and Justin unfortunately had to play, and then he played against Carrie, one of the Oklahoma locals. So yeah, now it's your turn to just talk for a while. You've got, let's talk about these 5 rounds and just get through them.
And so in the mirror, like in round 1, it was actually we opened up once.
Oh yeah, that's right. You played Sal.
Like I played Sal. Like, and actually I was undefeated. Like I was 6-0 or something when I played on stream. So
wow.
I was feeling good. But I hadn't really tested against the Beaver a lot.
Yeah.
I played with my teammate a little bit. But it was like it was all right testing, but it didn't really prepare me for all of the like little interactions that we were missing at the time. Like, and so I played Sal, like, and he completely bodied me. Like, it wasn't even close. He just tapped me out.
Yikes.
Like, he just tapped me out. He would release from me Bojack.
Damn.
Not released from Evil, the Final Flash. He would Final Flash like on my Bojack or my Annihilation Goku, and then tap me out, and I just lost because I wasn't mentally prepared, I guess.
Right.
Like, as it was round one, the first event, like, kind of zoned out.
Yeah.
And so he bottled me in round one, like it was a complete blowout, which I'm grateful for. Because he actually showed me how to play the mirror better. After watching him just completely wreck me, I realized how to play it a little better.
Yeah.
Like, and then so on round two, I played an OG Brawly player, which was a cool deck. It's a deck that I wanted to build and kind of like mess around with. And
Yeah,
but at the same time, I didn't really know anything about the deck. I didn't know what it did. Like, and so I just like I was super aggressive in game one, because I just wanted to see like what would happen, and I didn't get through, and he took game one, and then I was able to take game 2 and 3.
Yeah, I had to do a lot of that.
Like, yeah, and so I sided in like I sided in the Vegeta Unison, I sided in Giant Ball, and so it was just like he actually sells Xeno'd me.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I was watching that.
Like he sells me like in game 2, and I was lucky enough to negate, and so like I negated, and then I killed him the following turn. And that was a fairly easy matchup after I saw what the deck did.
Yeah, so you adapted properly.
What?
You adapted properly to the matchup, which is good.
Yeah. Like, and then in round 3 I played Mecha, and so he was actually playing the one-drop Mecha Kabura that lets you look at 7.
Yeah.
Like, and then play a Schumer Salsa. Like, and then so I sided in like the 2 tyrannical blows, and just waited on him to waste energy on that, which actually kept him from awakening. And so that was a pretty easy matchup. I killed him on turn 3 in both of the games, I think.
Okay.
Like, yeah, and then so in round 4, this is when I got paired up with my teammate.
Played Justin.
We call him Meerkat. We call him Tindaho.
Hell yeah.
He picked those names. He did. Like, and this was the teammate that I had been testing with too. So,
yeah.
Which I think kind of played into my because he had beat me in all of our testing matchups, and I learned how to play around the way he pilots the deck.
That's interesting.
And then so I took game 1, and then in game 2, they called time, and we went into turns, and he was on the final turn, and he was about to swing for game, and he called time on time, which was unfortunate for him. It would have ended in a draw because he would have had me beat, but he called time on time.
Yeah.
And that's how it ended. Which kind of sucks when it happens to your teammate.
Yeah.
Rules of the tournament.
I mean, I guess at the end of the day, it was good that time was called, because if it was going to be a draw, then we would rather just have a win instead of a draw.
I mean, yeah, that's true. Because at this point in the tournament, if we would have drawn, it would have both at a top cup.
Yeah. So it sucks, but it's also like not bad.
Out, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
It's like, and then in round 5, I played Carrie, which is one of our local guys. He's basically been playing Sin Shinron since it came out.
Yeah.
He's a really good Sin Shinron pilot. He's a control variant.
Yeah, he's very good.
Yeah, he's really good. He's really thoughtful. He makes the right plays. And so it's just one of those things. Like, it's one of those things where I was able to get around his plays in game 1. like, and so I ended up taking game one, and then I decided in to choose the Masu promo,
Yeah.
which was really clutch, because on turn 4, he tapped out, like, to play the
Mechi?
Mecha Aura Unison,
Oh, okay.
and I bounced it back to a hand.
That's so broken.
Like, it was really good. Like, and then on his turn, like, like, this kind of sucked for him, but on his turn, he hit me, and I think he misplayed there because he hit me and gave me a card, and I ended up drawing into the second Zamasu,
Oh,
and he
no.
went to out again to play Mecha.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and so, like, and it's one of the things I told him after, like, if he would have paid 5 for it, then Zamasu wouldn't have worked.
Oh, yeah, it wouldn't
Because
have
it would have
worked,
been.
yeah. Right.
So, like, I told him that afterwards, but he didn't know, and so he played right into it twice. Like, and then, like, they called time, and he just wasn't able to kill me before
Turns
before
over.
turns was over. So
Yeah.
we went through our 3 turns in time, actually relatively quickly. Except with all the built-in defense that Mecha has, he just wasn't getting through.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, so that's the recap.
Oh, yeah,
I ended
so...
up going X1.
Yeah, X1, 6th place.
Like I said, I got bodied in round 1. Like, and I'm thankful I did because it kind of woke me up and was like, oh hey, this is an event. I need to focus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, just to backtrack to Justin's match. So like, when you played that mirror, how was that different from playing against Sal? You know, was it just having the knowledge of how Justin plays, or did Sal teaching you how to play the mirror like actually win you that?
Like, I think it was a mix of both.
Okay.
Like because like I said before, this is a teammate that I'd been testing the mirror with.
Right.
Like, and so I kind of like I learned from those, like, games that we played, because, like, I think in our first couple of games we played, I ended up charging 2 Vegeta Final Flash because it was the first time I ever played the mirror.
Oh yeah, you don't want to do that.
I was like, oh hey, I was like, that card's really crucial in this matchup. Maybe I shouldn't charge that card. Because, like, and then I also learned from Sal, like in round 1, how to play around my opponent playing on my turn. And so, you have to be weary because they can tap you out.
Yeah.
They can interrupt on your turn, and there's so many, like, ways they can hurt you and lock you down. Like, and that's just something that I was aware of because I saw Sal do it to me 2 games in a row.
Right.
Like, I think he 2-0'd me in less than 20 minutes.
Oh my god.
He blew me out.
Holy crap,
Like,
really?
he completely blew me out.
Wow, that's crazy.
And so, like I said, I was really grateful that it happened because it woke me up. Like, and then it also showed me, like, a different line of play that I hadn't really noticed was there before.
Right.
So, like, and that's what helped me win the mirror against, Justin. And like I said, he had game 2. He just wasn't able to swing in time before they called time on time, which was unfortunate.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Yeah, and then just to like recap, round 1 was like a body. Round 2 you just adapted well and played correctly. I guess Mechi was kind of just like a win.
That was actually probably my easiest match of the day.
Yeah, Taylor doesn't want to hear that.
Yeah.
He likes what you
sorry,
Taylor. Yeah, I'm gonna tell Taylor to watch this video entirely. Not tell him why, and then when he gets to this point, he's gonna know why, and then he's gonna text me saying you suck, and I'm gonna tell him you suck.
Yeah.
And then round 4 was matchup knowledge, and then just Justin knowledge. And then Carrie, I guess you just played properly again. So yeah, I mean definitely like the mirrors mattered. Like I said, these meta matchups matter. And then even you play against something like kind of out there like OG Broly. It matters a lot to people to adapt. Like when I played my Gohan deck, I actually lost against Mecha. Like I had the same round one. I played against Mecha with Gohan, and I lost because I tried to overcommit game one, and then game two I adapted properly, but like I forgot Celzeno exists, so I had the same uphill battle, and yeah, I just wasn't able to bring it in the end. I had to play against Vegex, and my sideboard was not prepared for Vegex at all.
Yeah.
So I ended up X2, but matchups matter a lot in this game, and that's why it's important for me to talk about them. Sit here and talk about them. It might make videos around longer, blah blah blah, whatnot. But it's very important to me because it just and talking about them in hindsight, also helps you better yourself. But you have bettering yourself through hindsight, and then talking about it as if you were talking to other people can also help you maybe see things you didn't or what you're talking about it. So that's what I'm all about here. Helping people, making sure that we have good representation for our team as well, and just helping people in general. I'm just that way. I like helping out the community and giving good information.
And like you said, the deck list is already on. Like it's already on Joey's channel.
Yeah. Just to
so, like, I'm
reiterate
not even gonna die. Like we took Jordan's list. This is what we did. We took Jordan's list. That any top with because I felt like it was the best deck, and so I started testing it. I mean, shout out to MRG and Jordan, and Danny, and all the guys over there that are testing. And they kind of threw it together. And this is actually what I told Frank Miller. There's a lot of people that are really good at building decks.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those guys, and so I'm just gonna let the smart people, build them, and I'll just play them, I guess.
Yeah, so. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I think decking gets a bad rap, and it just happens sometimes. Like you can play decks to that really high level, and you're still capable of switching techs and switching ratios. So that's really what matters when you pick up a deck and make it your own per se. That's what I'm doing with like the Mecha list. Like I did the same. Like I literally took Jordan's 50 cards, and I've been like messing around with it a little bit, putting in cards, doing this and that. So it's very important to be able to at least do that, even if you can't build a deck from scratch. I've got personally, nothing else to say here. As always, just regular shout outs. Shout out to the team, and a great job to us this weekend. Tony winning. Brad here placing 6th and getting that top. Unfortunately, invites were only handed out to first and second place because I don't know why actually, but
because Band is weird.
But and then my dad placed 15th with Baby, even though the top cut was 8, not 16. But I still think 16 is okay, obviously. But yeah, we did really good this weekend. I'll have I'm gonna have Tony's deck profile up in the near future, along with a couple other ones that people are looking forward to. And yeah, I mean, do you have anything else to say, Brad?
I mean, no, man. I think we pretty much went over everything. Like you said, just shout out to our team PVE, and shout out to Jordan, for throwing Bean and everything.
But yeah. Alright, so with that, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll catch you next time. Take care.